be Mrs. Tracker.
Who? Oh, yes, excuse me, I'll go get her. Mr. Spinner, allow me to introduce my wife.
How do you do?
Hello. Hello. Hello! Forgive the way she's dressed, she just woke up. Forgive me!
Certainly. My wife doesn't look very good when she gets up either. I'm sure with all the rest of the makeup, you're a real beauty.
Oh, you'd be surprised! Shall we be seated?
I guess you're wondering why I'm here.
Oh, yes we were, weren't we, dear?
Well, it seems we have in our files that your wife Leslie is a man. Was a man.
Well, what can you possibly mean? Like in a previous life?
I mean like in a previous year. Mrs. Trackman, in the 2 years prior to your marriage, you filed your tax returns as a man. Instead of marking female, you marked male. Why'd you do that?
Oh, yes. I thought that M stood for mother and F stood for father.
M for mother, F for father, I'll buy that.
Leslie, dear, why don't you get dressed and doll yourself up a bit? I'll entertain Mr. Spinner. Are you leaving, Mr. Spinner?
No, I'm just being a gentleman.
Oh, yes, forgive me. I tend to forget my manners. We have a rather informal house here. Oh, and Leslie, dear, please put on a different perfume. What you're smelling now smells a little bit like a man's cologne.
Mr. Trackman, that was a little harsh.
Yes, well, we have a rather harsh house here also.
I see.
And put on a dress, would you please, dear?
I do have a rather smart pantsuit that I'd rather wear.
I'd really rather you wear a dress if you don't mind.
Well, I do mind. I'm in no position to argue. I won't be long, Mr. Spinner.
Take your time, take your time. Lovely woman, very lovely woman. Kind of reminds me of my wife.
Really? How long have you been married?
32 years.
Gee, I'm sorry.
You're sorry. Now, may I see your wife's birth certificate, please?
Oh, yes, of course. Here's historical proof of her birth.
Social Security card?
Yes, right here.
Fine, I'll just be a second.
Is that all there is to it?
Yes, your bookkeeping isn't the subject of this investigation.
Then you're finished.
I think so.
There isn't anything else you need?
Just one.
What's that?
Scotch on the rocks. I have to go home soon.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Mr. Spinner. Leslie and I were kind of hoping you'd stay for dinner.
Oh, really? I couldn't. I must get home.
Well, then you'd probably better. Your wife's probably waiting for you with open arms.
Yes, probably is.
Probably has a nice meal all cooked and prepared for you.
You think so?
Sure. Probably has a nice little candlelight dinner for two all set up.
Could be. Could be.
In fact, I bet your wife has an intimate evening all planned out for you.
I'll stay.
How's that?
I'll stay for dinner.
What for?
You spend an intimate evening with my wife. I'd rather stay here.
But, don't you think?
Usually people aren't this cordial with me. In fact, last night I ordered to staple their tea bag to the seat of my pants. Some people think they're so original. That was a Scotch on the rocks, please.
Scotch on the rocks, yes.
Sorry it took so long. I had a hell of a time.
Oh my God, are you all right?
Yeah, Leslie has bungeons. It's really nothing to worry about.
Your dress
My dress.
is so small.
Oh, yes. It's that new washing machine. I told you, John, I thought it was shrinking all of my clothes.
Yeah, I'll have to do something about that.
Why don't we go
mind if I watch you in the kitchen?
Oh, no, you can't. It's my secret recipe.
Come on, I won't squeal
You
it.
cannot really.
Leslie's really rather old-fashioned. Here's your other drink, Mr. Spinner.
But I'm not finished with this one.
Well, then you'd better gulp it down.
Before I go on being social like this, I better have you sign these forms, Mrs. Tracker.
Why don't you sign them in the kitchen?